Hello everybody, today's video is going to be a voiceover video. I recently purchased a new camcorder and silly me forgot to make sure that the microphone was on, so please bear with me. Today I'm going to be showing you a little bit over half of my order from Biggest Craft. The rest hasn't shipped yet, but that's okay. It's probably just in printing, so for now I have I think it's nine kits to show you, plus a cute little magnet which I just kind of tossed in there. So originally I thought this was going to be a needle minder, but once I got it I realized that there wasn't that additional magnet on the back to hold it to your work. It does come with a little film, so it looks like it's really scratched at first, but I promise you it's not. It's just a clear film. It does come off and then it looks super nice and shiny. I believe this also comes in a diamond painting and cross stitch kit as well, but I'm happy to just have it as a refrigerator magnet. So the first kit I got was a Joy Sunday kit, and it is called Bouquet and Pomegranate. You can see it has those cute flowers, those lovely greens in it, a sliced open pomegranate, and what looks like a young pomegranate. All of my Joy Sunday kits today are going to be 14 count and printed, because I made sure to check this time that everything was printed. And real quick, I'm not going to say this for everyone, but the instructions are always on the back of a Joy Sunday kit. Don't mind me, I'm just struggling to get the paper pattern out as always. There we go. Alright, so as usual, they come on this glossy paper, and it does have that part that I struggle with. You can see all the nice, lovely little greens in there and all of that back stitching. You can tell there's quite a few colors in there, but that's okay because back stitching is what brings it to life. On this side, you can see the cute little stems to it with all those lovely shades of green and all of that back stitching. Where's the colors? Okay, right here. So it looks like there's 33 colors. 3 in half stitch, 2 in French knots, and 7 in back stitch. Sorry, I can't count. That is 8 colors in back stitch. Alright, so let's look at the canvas. Bouquet and Pomegranate. Alright, so I'm just going to check it really quick for any symbols that might be confusing to read together. So right here you can see that they put a dark and a light green together, and if you're not in appropriate lighting, that might be difficult for you to differentiate. And I like to work at night because that's the only time I get to myself. So this might not be the right project for me around bedtime. So everything on this canvas is very clear. You can see where the flowers are, the pomegranates, the little pomegranate. As for the reading, it does look a little bit small or blurry for the size. You think only a smaller one would be harder to read, but that's okay. I still understand what everything is, plus we always have that paper chart to go from. So this cross stitch is 160 stitches by 185. Again, this is 14 count, and it has a serged edge. On the website, it says this cross stitch is 36 by 42 centimeters. Now, I don't measure these because the people that make them, the manufacturers, they sell on Alibaba, and it's called Needle Kung Fu, and they always state on their website that there is going to be some difference in the size of the canvas because they print these together and then they cut them separate and then they serge the edges. But it's usually close enough, so I'm not concerned about it as long as it's a kit I'm gonna enjoy. So you can see all of the lovely colors here. I've noticed with Joy Sunday that they tend to give you neons. I'm not really sure what that's about. I think this might go up in the accents next to the pomegranates, maybe in the pomegranates, but I don't see a true red that really matches the pomegranate itself. It's just kind of like this pinky neon coral type red. It'll be interesting to see how it comes out, but I think it'll be cute regardless. You can see all the cute greens that they have in here. It looks like maybe 3 colors of green. You can see it's on 2 separate cards, so the third one's hiding back here. They only labeled the areas where they put the additional floss, so I guess that can save them on ink. I absolutely love these colors. They're so bright and beautiful, and there's not a whole lot here because it is a kind of small project. Definitely not the smallest, but these are such bright, happy colors. I'm just gonna love making this. I just wish I could do it at night, but those greens on the canvas is really gonna hold me back. So I'm gonna have to find time during the day when I'm not working to kind of get this done or get it started. And before I forget, this canvas cost me $6.99. So this next kit I've put off getting for a little while. It's called Little Boy with Rabbit, and I put it off because the colors, but ultimately this kind of is my type of style, like in the woods, the boy and the rabbit just kind of looking like they're watching a deer. And I'm gonna struggle to get this pattern out again because I'm absolutely terrible at not pulling everything out all at once. There we go. So again, patterns on the back, and I just noticed these holes in the bags. I've never noticed those before. Here's the picture up close. Super cute. These kind of look like banana slices to me. I know they're mushrooms, but yeah, they're just giving banana vibes, but they're just so cute sitting there, and they don't really have like a whole lot of expression to their face, which is why I think it looks like they're watching a deer. Yeah, super banana vibes. So it's looking like it has 36 colors in full stitch and 2 in back stitch. Let me just look through the pages really quick. Yeah, I think this is all there is for the pattern. I don't think there's French knots or anything else, so I think it's going to be a pretty simple pattern to work up, even though it is a full coverage stitch. But these, I can't not see them as bananas. Alright, so here you can see his cute little face. All the details look the same as in the image. And right here, You can see that they've separated the pages for you to make it easier to find where you are in case you put it down, or if you decide to wash your canvas and possibly make it counted, or maybe if you can't tell what one of the symbols is. All right, just excuse me while I drop the canvas. So this canvas is very bright and vivid, and it is very obvious what is where. It kind of looks like if you put an image into reverse colors on some editing program, but that's okay. You can see his face, where the rabbit is, all the mushrooms and that log, and you can see the tree behind them. It's just a really beautiful pattern, and it's such a scene. All right, I'm gonna see if there's any symbols that kind of clash here. So you can see over here, they have like these little dashes and then these little greater than less than signs. Let it focus. Yeah, right there. So if some of them happen to be blurry or you're hard of seeing, this might be a little bit difficult for you to follow, but I guess it's okay because we do have the paper pattern and the symbols are different on there, so it would be possible for you to still figure it out. Focus again, and up here it has these black dashes and black dots, which again can get very confusing or be hard on your eyes if you're trying to stitch this in low light. So I'm not seeing a stitch count on this, and I don't think it's on the front of the packaging, but the cross stitch is 55 centimeters by 40 centimeters. And I'm terribly sorry, doing this voiceover, I can't really see the stitch count from my screen right now, so I could not tell you. I don't know if I mentioned, but all Joy Sunday kits are serged around the edge, so I'm not going to say that for every single one either. Just know that pretty much every kit, except for some that come from AliExpress, are serged around the edge. So I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this kit, other than the fact that I'm so super excited to get this done, and it is going to be a little bit of work since it is 14 count and full coverage. I can say that the canvas isn't as firm as Joy Sunday has been in the past either, so I know some of you like that. I do prefer mine a little bit firmer though, because I like to stitch in hand. So I also forgot to mention, all Joy Sunday kits have 2 needles stapled to the thread cards. This one came with 2 cards. You can just see all of those earthy tones in there. I don't know if they're both not marked 1 or what's going on, because they're both kind of marked the same. Not my system, I guess. It's not my job to know, but you can see all of the lovely earthy tones in here, the blacks for the shadows. You can see some of the reds. I'm not really sure where the red's gonna go. There's a little mushroom in the side there. Right there. It does look brighter though. You got these nice little beigey tan colors for all those banana mushrooms. And of course I know that's not what they're called. All the green for the leaves in the background. It's kind of like some weird, I hate to say it, bile green, bile yellowy green. You got the darker version of this to kind of add the shadows in there. You can see this lovely brown that's going to go in his hair, and some of it's going to go in the rabbit and the log with this darker brown. And this one here looks like it might be highlights on the logs. I think this is more of some highlights in the log, or maybe medium lights in his hair. It's a little tangled mess, but that's okay. You can just see, if it will focus, focus. There we go. So all these lovely earthy tones that kind of mimic shrubbery greens, not so much a forest green, but it looks like they're in the shrubbery on the edge of a forest. This kit cost me $10.99. All right, just gonna stack this all and put it aside. So as you know, this is called Goose Geese on their website, but this is ducks because it is from a postcard thing called Traveling Ducks or something like that. I already have the fishing one, but I thought this one was so cute. Like, look at the little ducky giving him a kiss. It's just the cutest little treat ever, and I'm so excited for it, even though it's not very big. So tiny. The thread's a bit of a mess though. Again, there we go. This one's a little bit easier to get out. So it fits on one page, which is great. There is no seams in the way. So it looks like there's 25 colors in full stitch, 4 in half stitch, 1 in French knot, and 2 in the back stitch. I don't really know what's going on up here. They don't look different, which is weird because it's not showing the symbols that you would find on the canvas. It's just showing you twice what would be on the printed pattern. So that's a little bit confusing here. I guess it doesn't really matter because this is such a small kit. The printed pattern wouldn't be hard to use. So the printing on the bottom is kind of small to see, but I think it should be fine because we can count, or at least I hope we can, and we can just figure out what number each symbol is. Or you can just go off of the paper pattern completely if you're really having trouble. Super cute, super quick, definitely something I could get done in an evening. Let me put this over here so we can get the picture on top. A little bit tangled, that's okay. So again, you can tell that they kind of put neons in here. Let me get it to focus. There we go. So you can see all the colors, not a whole lot, but yeah, those neons are in there. And I think I'm seeing some true to color yellows in here, which I don't tend to see the true to color yellows from Joy Sunday. So this is kind of a step for me. I see maybe 3 stitches that have this red. You can see the greens that are on the grass. Some of the pinks that are in the hearts, I think. It looks like there's 2 shades for the grass. I would have expected more white for the ducks, but again, I guess this is kind of smaller than you would expect it to be as a kit. Sorry about that, my son just kind of ran into the room and started shaking the table and doing his little hooting and hollering. But this kit is 19 by 15 centimeters and I spent a total of $2.99 on it, obviously not counting taxes, and this is the US dollar. So this next kit is similar to one I've already purchased, only this time instead of sitting on a vine, they are sitting on flowers and standing around them. And you can see there are little boys in this one as well, unlike the first one I had, and I think it's the same art style. It's called 6 Cuties 2. You can tell that it has the plant theme that I like to go with. I absolutely love it. You can see these cute little bunnies. I love those stinking bunnies. They are just too precious. And all their eyes are just so beautiful. Look how cute the bunny is. I'm obsessed with him. He is just the cutest thing ever. Sorry about that. My son came running out again when he heard Mom get excited. It's so cute. I absolutely love this bunny. He's so stinking adorable. Oh my goodness. Alright, so the pages are separated. Oh, he's so cute. Again, it shows you the page separation, so if you need to find a stitch on the paper pattern, it's right there. Cutest little bunny ever. So it's looking like there's 21 colors and 4 of them are in backstitch. This is one of the little boys I was talking about, or at least I think it's a boy. And then here's the other one. I could be wrong, they could be girls. The cute red flowers and the petals floating. Just tuck that back in there. Again, with their beautiful eyes, and that back stitching is really gonna make them pop with those lashes in there. But like I say, the back stitching really makes the photo, and I love how they put multiple colors in those red flowers. That way you know it's gonna pop. Let's go ahead and take a look at this canvas. So this one is very similar to the first kit I got in this style called 6 Cuties 3. Again, they're just sitting on a vine, but I also think this one's a little bit shorter than the 6 Cuties 3. You can see it's 274 stitches wide by 117 stitches high. I'm just going to go ahead and look down here and see if the printing is readable, which it is. I'm fairly impressed with this. This is very clear to read. All the symbols look pretty different except for that orange and red ring. This kit has very bright colors, a fair bit of color blocking. The stems are very clearly thin and pastel colors, but I think they're all different enough where you won't have trouble with them being next to each other. You can see up here there's kind of like these arrows and dots together, which may be hard on your eyes if you have difficulty seeing. And over here where it's the arrows and dots, that would make it very difficult to be doing at night. I'm just checking to see if there's red rings mixed with orange rings. I'm not seeing that over here, so I don't think that them ending up paired together will be much of an issue. So the canvas is fairly readable for the most part, and I don't think people will be having any trouble with what stitch goes where. Let me just tuck this away and get the colors out so we can start to compare. This lovely red is obviously going to go to the flowers. I think this neon color will as well. It might also take part in some of the shading of the girl's pink hair. Right up here, you can see. looks maybe like a little bit in the rabbits as well. There's only a few greens in here. I would have expected more, but I guess the neon one, I guess it wouldn't really register as a green to me because it is so neon and a little bit yellowy to me, but it looks like it might be the highlights in the stems. You can see we got the skin tone, some of the blues for the shading of the white areas, and the little flowers that are sprinkled around. Super cute. They act as nice filler as well. You get that? See all those beautiful colors. Very cutesy. I'd say looking at them without seeing the photo, they don't really scream that this is a nature project, but that's all right. Composition. So this image is 58 by 28 centimeters, and I paid a price of $6.99. So this next one, I believe, is in the same sort of art style. It is called The Forest Playground 2. A sticker stuck over the image, but we'll see it anyways. You can see there's two little bunnies on here on what I used to call a seesaw. As a child, some people call it a teeter-totter, and you can see it's made out of these cute little sunflowers. It has the same color theme with the greens, the blues for some of the shadows, the kawaii type style to it, I want to call it. Only this time it seems like it's a little more piecey. Let me just get the paper pattern out. There we go. So here you can see the full image without the sticker kind of getting in the way. Super cute. I'm happy that it's all on one page without that divide in it, so it should be easy to find where you are or to do all of your backstitching without getting lost because of page splits. Look at those different grass colors. Yeah, right here, 3 different back stitches. So there's 27 colors, it looks like, 25 in full stitch, and the symbols are different for the paper pattern versus the canvas pattern, which I guess sometimes they mess up and just print it twice, but this time it is correct on here. The printing is a little bit small, so it's good that they got this correct this time. So you can see the 3 backstitch colors, and it's 27 because some of them are 26 and 27 are in the backstitch and not in the full stitch. Alright, so that is all the information on our leaflet. I don't really see a stitch count again where I'm voicing over. I can't really read those from where I am on my screen because while editing the image is tiny. So you can see very clearly all of the symbols. Some of the stems do get kind of faint, but I think those are just back stitching. So it shouldn't really matter anyways because we'll be using the paper pattern for that. Alright, so apparently right here, I'm just gonna throw it. But what I was saying is the numbers, they look clearer than I actually expected them to, which is really great considering how small this piece actually is. The ground definitely is more of a single color than I thought it would be. I guess that's okay, but you can always add more variation if you have some leftover greens from other kits. Let's go over the colors. So again, you can see that there's a ton of neons like this orange right here, but it's kind of warranted with this image because there are a lot of bright and loud colors in it. Just showing off the colors here. Very bright, and they also go off of what my idea of a children's rainbow would be. Super cute, super fun, and I don't think this would be boring to work on because there is a wide range of colors. So I'm just gonna wrap this up and put it away, and I am noticing that on the website it's called Forest Paradise. It is 22 by 19 centimeters, and I paid a total of $3.99. At this point, my son just kind of came up and he started being really cute, so I gave him some attention and kind of just sent him on his way. So this next kit is a girl and a lion. And hey, plus side to me doing a voiceover, you don't have to hear all the crinkling. So this is the full image. Let me just smooth that out, or try to. So this image kind of reminds me of one I showed in a previous AliExpress video, the girl that was laying in a field with butterflies and flowers. It just kind of gives me that same energy, so of course I had to get it. So let's dive into this canvas. You can see that it's, I wouldn't say a lot of confetti, but there is definitely confetti. You get your instructions here on the side as usual. It's sprinkled a lot, but not confetti. I do have one issue with the canvas though. You can kind of see the smearing here, and you know what they are, but it can still get very confusing. I guess I have two issues with this canvas then. So you see this arm here, it's one solid color when it's not. Over here you can very clearly see the fabric details over her arm, and they just did not let that follow through on this printed area, and I feel like that is just going to make it look like something behind her arm or make it look awkward and out of place. So I might kind of try and copy the pattern that makes those little flowers in the fabric over onto her arm with some lighter thread than what they're going to have us use on the arm, just to kind of make it all pulled in together and not look so awkward, because I really think it's an injustice to take that detail out and not complete the pattern or complete the look over her arm. It's really just gonna look awkward, like a tissue coming out from behind her or something, and I don't love that. I don't love that look for her. So I'm gonna do her better, and I don't know what I was air quoting. We'll just spruce her up a little. It's okay. And if it doesn't work, oh well. So you can very clearly see where her face is, the arch above her, the lion, his eyes, his little nose, or not so little nose and chin. He just looks very tame, even though you can't technically tame a wild animal. You can see all of your symbols over here. I think there are quite a few that would be easy to mix up, so you're definitely going to have to be paying attention to what you're stitching and where to make sure you're doing the right color. So this is the paper canvas. As usual, you get your 5 needles, your needle threader, and your thimble ring. And this one's a leopard. I don't think I've ever had one of those, but I think I might have one in one of the next few kits I have to show you. So the canvas is exactly the same as the printed pattern. Nothing else really to explain here. Everything seems to be printed clearly enough to know what's going where. Nothing's really running into one another either. This is a little less saturated than some of the other canvases I've been seeing, but I'm not too concerned about that. There we go, focus. So yeah, you can see what I mean by a lot of stitches that could be confusing because quite a few of them are in the same color, or not the stitches, but the symbols. I think it'll be fine as long as you pay attention and don't do this in a poorly lit room, or maybe have on some magnifying glasses so you can really make sure you're getting the right color on the right symbol. Just your basic printed canvas. Looks exactly like the paper pattern as these usually do. Alright, so now we're just going to go ahead and look at the floss. I have one extra hank of what I'm assuming is going to be the skin tone. It looks a bit more peachy than her, maybe the color that just her cheeks are, but that's alright. These colors, these kits always tend to be a little bit more saturated. Gotta shake them loose so I can get at them. Alright, so it comes on 2 cards. This is the second card. You can see some of the dress and skin tones, a little bit of the blue that comes in the back. I'm not really sure where this purpley color is in here, but maybe it could be some of the shadows in here. So more of the blues for the background, and then some more of the skin colors, the dress colors. I know some of these are going to end up being the lion's colors, but I think these all look a little bit faded. Overall, these colors do give you a nice cozy feeling, and that is exactly why I wanted this kit in the first place though. So it's okay to me if the colors aren't super different from one another because they are all coherent in their own way. Alright, sorry about that. My camera fell over because my son came rushing to mom. So this kit is 40 by 60 centimeters and it costs me a total of $10.99. Alright, so this next kit doesn't have a whole lot going on for it, and it does not really have an image for me to show you. I will try to show you and see how well my camera can zoom in though. So you get the kit that you get in all of these generic brands, and your paper pattern. So you can see very clearly that this has been smeared. It's smeared pretty much all around the bottom edges, but I think for the most part I will be able to understand what is what. See here, it's kind of blurred. And the reason this is, if I haven't said it already, is because they are going fast with their packing to meet the demand of all the customers. So there's some color blocking in here, a ton of white, quite a few symbols that look similar and have the same color, so that may get confusing if they do end up next to each other. I'm not a huge fan of that. where this is such a small project, you would think I could speak. You would think they would choose very different symbols because we know they have a larger selection. So here's the image, if it will focus. There we go. I guess you can see it. Super cute, just a bunny with a little lily pad hat. Those nice bright blue eyes, cute little chest, and some little plants to accent him. So this time your instructions are on a separate leaflet because the pattern was a square. And here is the printed canvas. So there's a lot of extra here on the edge. Don't worry, I did not just ruin it. I will trim this later once I get to working on it. Let me get that thread out the way. Super cute. A lot of white. I am not going to be doing that. I'll maybe do all this edging area and then the white on the inside of the bunny, but there's no way I'm going to be doing all the white in the background. That is just a big no for me. I will save that white for something else because that is ridiculous. When the canvas is already white, there's no need for me to be doing it all. And I don't care about the holes showing through. That's just not something that matters to me. I'm just checking it here for symbols being next to each other that could be a little frustrating. But I think all is good, which is great considering how similar a lot of them were. I would tell you how many colors are here, but sadly I cannot see it and my canvas is packed away on top of my counters. So the threads very obviously match this kit, and that makes me pretty happy that I don't even have to open this to tell what kit this goes to. Just all these whites and random colors. I'm not gonna open these ones though because I just think it would be a hassle considering that this is kind of a one-note pony image where everything is just one animal. But it's still cute, and you can definitely see that it's all there, and all the colors are still vibrant and beautiful. This kit is 40 by 40 centimeters and cost me $7.99. This is the next kit I have to show you. This one, she's kind of like a lamb or sheep girl. Your toolkit, and there we go. There's the other leopard I thought I saw. And it doesn't want to focus, of course. Whatever. So this kit I was really excited about. I mean, I'm excited about all my kits, aren't I? There's a reason I got them. So this one is so cute, and I am so sick of these creases. They're impossible to get rid of. But you can see she's a little bit of a lamb. I'm not sure what that weird thing is up in the corner, but it's a very pastel-y photo. It looks very delicate. Super cute, lovely florals. Her hair is beautiful. The unknown thing, I can't really tell what that is. It's kind of creeping me out. I possibly just might skip it and not stitch that. Maybe I can mimic the flowers on that side and put a few flowers to fill that in if I do omit it. Your instructions included in the pattern pamphlet this time. And our pattern. Super bright. Again, you can tell what goes where. It's very easy to make out what parts of the images you're looking at. You can see all of her hair, her face, her mouth, her nose, her eyes. Everything is just fairly visible. Sorry about that. I had to go help my son really quick. But again, there is a lot of white in the background that I am probably not going to do. The flowers are really the only bit that seems to have that pop of color to really stand out from everything else. And I don't really mind that because I like the subtleness of the colors in this image. Right here, again, I can't really see the amount of colors, so I could not tell you. So that's pretty much it for that. I didn't see any smudging on this paper pattern, so that is really good because there's a lot of smudging going around. Plenty for all of us, too much for all of us. So this canvas is absolutely saturated in color. And this is what I was talking about earlier when I said that my canvas wasn't as bright as they've been coming. This one is absolutely soaked in color, and I apparently have threads on it. Again, I can't see the stitch count here either. So right here, I think people would have trouble. Those are circles, and some of them are so blown out that they just look like solid pink squares, which can be a problem because that means there's 3 colors that are very similar next to each other. And see, some of them look like they have like dots in them, and it's just confusing. I know the gridding there is to be helpful, but when it kind of spreads out into the symbols next to it, it makes it hard to see them. So down here I'm seeing more problems, like the little circles again, and then the reds being right next to that, these red X's. It's all just a problem, and only because the fact that it's so saturated that the symbols are blown out, and it's just making a little bit more difficult to read them. I personally don't think I'll have any trouble with it, but other people that are harder of seeing than I am might. So again, you can see everything fairly clearly, and I do want to point out that those bright red areas might take extra time to wash out, and they potentially might not fully wash out at all because I've had trouble with extra saturated kits hanging on to those red and green tones. So here's the image again, and let's take a quick peek at the colors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hanks of what seem to be the kimono type thing and the background colors. Thread just looping all around each other. So there's 2 cards. You can see here there's only a few colors. Some of the browns, which I assume are going to be some of the shadows, that minty green, that might be some shadows on the kimono. All right, let me move it over. So you can see that the thread is more saturated than the image, but that could just be a printing issue and not an issue with how they converted. But again, the little brown pieces, which I assume are meant to be a goldish color, some of the skin tone, which I assume will also go for the lambs, the dark blue going up there, and then some little details. This color is very bright. I'm assuming this is maybe going to be some bits up here, maybe her lips a little bit. So this kit was 50 by 65 centimeters, and I spent $13.99 on this one. So this is the last kit I have with me until the rest arrive. Our toolkit, which is another leopard. Funny how you only see it for the first time and you get a bunch of them. The instructions on its own separate leaflet again. And this beautiful, beautiful image. Let me just show you this really quick. It's so saturated and colorful, again with the children's rainbow type thing. Super cute, just a little girl in an adorable spacesuit sitting in space with a little rabbit friend, it looks like. So it looks like a fair amount of color blocking. You can see what is what, you can see the face, the stars, the background color. It's not as bad as I thought it would have been. You can see the little orb she's holding, the bunny, the helmet, just everything. You can make it out. So again, I can't really see the stitch count on here, and you can see over here that the image is different with colors. Sometimes I find my threads match that image and not this printed one over here. But in this case, it does look like my colors of my threads will more closely match the big image, which makes me very excited. Right here I'm going on about something, I don't really remember what. So it looks like the instructions are also on the paper pattern. I'm not seeing any smearing of the ink on this one, at least none that is to the point where I can't understand it or where it's super noticeable. So that's really amazing because this is probably the one I was most excited for just because of the colors more so than the image. Let's toss that aside and get our printed canvas out. So again, this is super saturated. Very saturated. So I think it will be easy to see what goes where in terms of symbols, assuming that none are too similar that are right next to each other. So up here I'm seeing these purple circles next to some purple arrows and black dashes, which can get confusing again if you're hard of seeing. These red dashes and red dots can also be difficult for people that are hard of seeing. And I know this doesn't matter to everyone, but it is an issue. I'm also seeing green lines next to green pluses, and then down here you can see some of the black dots kind of look like different shapes, and that might also frustrate somebody that just really can't focus very well. This will be fine for me, especially if I do use my magnifying glasses. So for myself, I am not worried, but if you get pain or migraines from looking at very confusing shapes and images that are kind of close in a way that sort of mimics movements, this might not be for you. So these colors are absolutely gorgeous. 3 hanks of the background colors. And I just gotta shake this loose per usual. Sorry about that my cat's trying to get into stuff. So all of these bright, beautiful colors, I am absolutely in love with them. All the pinks, the purples, the blues, and that pop of yellow. It just consumes me. I am in love. I cannot express how happy these colors are making me. I think it might be a good deal to buy this kit again just to get all of these threads, because threads are cheaper in these kits and the extra fabric I could get from washing it off would just be a bonus. I've considered buying a few kits in the past solely based on the colors, not because I want to do the image, even though I would repurpose the canvas once washed, but just saving those threads to get all those colors and the quantity of those colors for the lower price that these kits do cost, it would be worth it to me. So this kit is 40 by 56 centimeters and it costs me $9.99. So that's all the kits I have so far to share with you. Make sure you come back to see the rest of them. I promise they're still just as amazing and a few more Joy Sundays will be involved. If you liked the video, be sure to leave a like so other people can find me. If you have any questions or comments about these kits, feel free to leave it below. Subscribe to keep seeing content from me, or just comment if you want to have a discussion, or let me know about your experience with Biggest Craft. It is personally one of my favorites. I'm finding them to have the cheapest prices of most, if not all, of these cross-stitch kit stores I've been browsing, and so far it seems they have the widest variety as well, so it's a lot of bang for your buck. Now, I feel like I should say that they are a shop that tends to ship what is already prepared to be shipped, and you may end up waiting a little bit more for them to print any designs you have chosen that weren't already printed and ready to be shipped out. But to me, it's worth it, especially when they have more design options for you. So I'm not here to complain about that. I actually think it is a great thing that they're doing, and I am probably going to fill my shop with their kits. But thank you so much for watching, and I really do hope you come back for part 2. You guys all have an amazing day, and keep stitching.